Imagine a book so dangerous, so controversial, that just owning a single copy could land you behind bars. In some places, the mere act of reading certain words is an act of rebellion. This is the true story of a book that defied the odds. Drawn, a banned biography of Thailand's late King Bhumibol Adulyadej, written by journalist Paul Handley. Published in 2006, it was instantly outlawed in Thailand, labeled a threat to national security and the monarchy's image. The book shattered the carefully crafted image of the king as a benevolent, apolitical figure, revealing him instead as a shrewd political operator who shaped the nation's destiny from behind the scenes. For generations, Thais were taught to revere their king without question. With his portrait hanging in every classroom and home, his name spoken with reverence, this book dared to challenge that narrative, risking everything to tell a different story. It argued the king was deeply involved in politics, amassing power and wealth and influencing events in ways the public never saw. The reaction was swift and severe. Possession meant prison, discussion meant danger. People lived in fear of being caught with even a photocopy. But the questions it raised about truth, power, and who gets to write history still echo today, challenging the silence that once surrounded the monarchy. The youth-led protests in Thailand now openly question the monarchy, building on the truths this book first exposed and demanding a new era of openness. The King Never Smiles became more than a book. It became a symbol of the fight for free speech, inspiring activists and ordinary people alike. You can ban a book, but you can't kill an idea. Words, once released, have a power that outlives any law or decree. This is the story of how one book changed a nation's conversation, and why its message still matters today. To truly grasp the impact of this book, you first need to understand the figure at its center, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, also known as Rama IX. He reigned for an astonishing 70 years, becoming the only monarch most Thais had ever known in their lifetimes. His presence was a constant, shaping the nation's identity across generations. His image was everywhere, adorning walls and homes and schools, featured on currency, and woven into daily rituals and ceremonies. Songs praised him, and every morning schoolchildren saluted his portrait. The image of King Bhumibol as a tireless, compassionate father of the nation was carefully crafted. Decades of state-driven public relations and orchestrated events built a mythic persona around him. Royal development projects and constant media coverage painted him as a selfless leader, devoted to the welfare of his people. His visits to rural villages and hands-on involvement in charity work were widely publicized. But behind this carefully maintained image was a powerful shield, the lèse majesté law. This law made any criticism of the king punishable by up to 15 years in prison, creating a climate of fear. The law silenced all scrutiny, ensuring that only the official, saintly narrative could be told. Journalists, writers, and ordinary citizens learned to avoid even the slightest hint of dissent. Into this tightly controlled world, a single book arrived, threatening to unravel a myth at the very heart of Thai identity and society. Author Paul Handley dared to question the untouchable, risking his safety and reputation to tell a different, more complex story about the king. The book promised to reveal the man behind the myth, and the Thai establishment was determined to silence it, banning its sale and distribution. Challenging the king wasn't just a political act. For many, it was seen as an attack on the very soul and unity of the nation itself. That's why the book's publication was so explosive, because it dared to question a sacred narrative, shaking the foundations of Thai society. Who wrote this forbidden book? Paul Handley, an American journalist who spent over a decade in Thailand. As an outsider, he was free from the legal and cultural constraints that muzzled Thai reporters. But he was also an insider, with deep knowledge of the country's power structures. Handley set out to answer a simple question: was the king really above politics? He found evidence of a monarch deeply involved in every major political event, including military coups. Years of research, interviews, and digging into archives revealed a king who rebuilt the monarchy's power from the shadows. Handley's outsider status let him write what no Thai could, but it also made him a target for accusations of bias. The Thai establishment dismissed him as a foreigner meddling in sacred affairs. Yet for many, his distance from the palace made his account more credible. The result was a book that exposed the monarchy's hidden influence and changed how people saw their king. Sometimes it takes an outsider to tell the story insiders can't. Handley's book reveals how King Bhumibol rebuilt the monarchy's power from near collapse. After ascending the throne in 1946, the monarchy was weak, a mere figurehead after the 1932 revolution. Bhumibol, with elite and military allies, launched a campaign to restore royal authority. He forged a powerful alliance with the military, endorsing coups in exchange for their support. The military needed royal legitimacy. The palace needed military muscle. The king's image was elevated to near-divine status, blending ancient rituals with modern propaganda. Criticizing him became not just political, but spiritual heresy. The Crown Property Bureau, detailed in the book, made the king one of the world's richest monarchs. This combination of political, spiritual, and economic power defined his reign. Handley's account shattered the myth of a passive, apolitical king. The Thai government moved fast to ban in 2006, even before its release. The book was declared a threat to national security, and its import was blocked, but the ban only fueled curiosity, especially as Thailand plunged into political crisis. That same year, a military coup ousted Prime Minister Thaksin, with generals claiming to protect the monarchy. The coup echoed the royal military alliances Handley described, making the book seem prophetic. Despite the ban, the book was discussed in academic circles and underground networks. Even talking about it was risky. Authorities cracked down on seminars and blocked thousands of websites. The lèse-majesté law was wielded aggressively, targeting anyone who shared or discussed the book. Joe Gordon, a Thai American, was jailed for translating parts of it online, proving no one was safe. The ban, the coup, and the crackdown turned the book into a symbol of resistance. The harder the government tried to silence it, the louder its message became a rallying point for those demanding truth. The book's story was now inseparable from Thailand's struggle for free speech. The fight over forbidden knowledge in Thailand was not just a battle of ideas or censorship. It had real, tangible human costs that rippled through families, communities, and the nation itself. Joe Gordon's story stands out. A seemingly ordinary man, caught in extraordinary circumstances, jailed simply for sharing the book online. His case became a symbol, showing how even those far from the centers of power could be swept up in the crackdown. His imprisonment sent a chilling message. No one was beyond the reach of lèse-majesté, and the consequences could be severe and life-altering. The book also exposed the monarchy's vast, almost unimaginable wealth, shocking many Thais who had no idea of the Crown Property Bureau's true scale or influence. For many, it was the first time they questioned the official narrative they had grown up with. Despite the risks, the book spread underground, shared digitally, smuggled in print, and whispered about in secret corners of society. Each copy passed from hand to hand was an act of quiet rebellion. Reading it became an act of defiance, creating a hidden community of people who saw a different side of their country and dared to imagine change. The government's attempt to suppress the book only made it more influential, fueling curiosity and determination among the public. It became a digital age samizdat, a forbidden text that united those hungry for truth and transparency, spreading far beyond what authorities could control. The book's revelations forced a national reckoning with questions of power, wealth, and accountability, sparking debates that could no longer be silenced. The cost of seeking forbidden knowledge was high, lives disrupted, futures threatened, but so was the impact as more people began to question and seek answers. The story of the book is the story of those who risked everything to read it, and in doing so, found a sense of solidarity and hope. In trying to erase the book, the authorities only amplified its message, making it impossible to ignore. The truth, once set free, found a way to spread, unstoppable, unforgettable, and forever changing those who encountered it. The ban on is a classic case of the Streisand effect. By trying to erase the book, the government made it legendary. The crackdown created a climate of fear, but also fueled underground curiosity. The book's ideas spread quietly, shaping a new generation's understanding of the monarchy. International attention grew, with human rights groups and foreign governments questioning Thailand's censorship. Handley's work became a key reference for understanding royal power. Most importantly, the book inspired young Thais, now leading pro-democracy protests, to demand answers. The questions first raised in the book are now shouted in the streets. The ban didn't kill the ideas, it made them impossible to ignore. Sometimes, trying to silence a story only makes it louder. The story of is a lesson in the power of truth. The Thai establishment tried to erase the book, banning it, blocking it, jailing those who shared it. But the truth, once spoken, can't be contained. The book broke a taboo, giving people the language to question power. Today's youth protesters are the heirs of this forbidden knowledge. In a world of misinformation, the fight for truth is more urgent than ever. The book's journey shows that history is not fixed, it's contested, and it belongs to those who dare to ask questions. Knowledge is power, and the effort to control information is an effort to control people. But the book's survival proves the limits of censorship. Even the most powerful institutions can't extinguish the human spirit's demand for truth. The king may never have smiled, but the truth he tried to suppress is now out in the open.